this blabla episode of Birkanik's Garage, I'm going to talk about my reason for picking an S3 over an RS3. So to start with, to not waste anybody's time, if you've got all the money in the world, get an RS3 regardless of what you want to do. If you just want to keep it stock, or if you want to modify it. If money is not an issue, obviously go for the RS3. If, like me, you're more on a budget, then keep watching, because at least you will be able to see my reasoning behind picking an S3 over an RS3, and maybe it might help you in your decision making. First, let's start with cost. Cost is obviously one of the first reason. Brand new, they're generally about 10 grand apart. Second, then it's not actually too bad. This is a 2017 S3 model. I think I found the 2015 RS3, which was only like £3,000 more. So it was within reach, if you know what I mean. You could have stretched, and for the same price, you could have also got an RS3 with maybe more mileage than the 2051 I have found. I was not that keen on the look of the 2015 anyway. I prefer the facelift headlight, which are a bit more aggressive. On this one, at the RS3 grill and stuff like that. So, this one look pretty sweet. So anyway, my point being is, for roughly the same cost or the same amount of money, you can probably get an S3 or an RS3. I think that RS3 was 60,000 miles when my S3 was 15,000 miles on the clock. So, still quite a difference in the mileage, but normally on the cars like that, the mileage is not that important. Obviously, even if you were planning to keep them stock, an RS3 will cost you more to maintain than an S3, simply because, well, the brakes are bigger, and you've got a lot of the components that are bigger. It's a bigger engine, it's a 5-cylinder, so there will be more maintenance costs than the S3, which is the S3 is kind of alright. So maintenance cost, considering of what you're getting for performance point of view. After, if you can afford the maintenance and you're planning on keeping them both stock, I would really recommend just go for an RS3, because, well, if you get the right year, so it will be a pre-facelift, a bit, so that will be between 2016 and 2018 if you go for the 8V version. Those won't have a particle filter, because now petrol car also have a filter, and that actually affects the mid-range a little bit. So it's best to go for like 2016, 2018. You actually have the 310 PS power out of the engine, when after 2018 they actually got dropped to 300 PS. On the new Audi S3 8Y is actually just 310 PS. So unless you really want the look of the latest one, and it's got, well, I guess you can send 100% of the power to the rear, but if rear wheel drive is what you're after, then why are you paying an Audi a little bit? But so yeah, if purely for power, you're still better off with an 8V pre-filter, because it will still beat the same power as the 2021, and it will beat it to the quarter mile. So you might as well go for that. After, if you're going to modify your car, then it's a different matter. On me, when I got mine, the plan was to actually modify it and go stage 3 on maybe big turbo and so on, in the future, kind of like a long-term project. So then it makes quite a lot of a difference whether you actually go for an RS3 or an S3. To start with, the S3, the advantage it has, it's in the MQB platform. So if you don't know what the MQB platform is, basically what the S3 is based on, what the Golf R is based on, what the Seat Cupra is based on. I think the Octavia VRX is also based on. So the number of engine on units on parts for them out there is massive. because there is much more units of the MQB platform than you've got of the Audi 5-cylinder engine. So when it comes to anything braking, the chance of you finding a second-hand part that will work for your S3 is a lot higher than for your RS3, simply because, you know, your gearbox, if you get a Golf R gearbox, you can just put it in. It's exactly the same. You know, it's literally just body, interior, and stuff like that. Also, because they are more affordable, there is a lot more for them on the aftermarket scene. You know, you still, because it's kind of the same platform, S3, RS3, and it's the same car, and to some extent, it shares a lot of the MQB platform, apart from the engine and different bits and bobs on suspension and so on. But it doesn't have the whole Golf thing, if you know what I mean. You know, the beauty with the S3, even though those don't always get modded like mad, you know, you still get some who do, you know, like, I'm not the only guy or anything, but compared to Golf, you know, Golf is just like, you know, Golf are what they are. So yeah, it's definitely good to be quite close to that. Also, it's a bit annoying for something like, for example, the Racing Line air intakes that is designed to match the cover of the Golf, you know, so when you put that in something that is MQB but not the Golf, it doesn't look quite right. But anyway, as the plan for this car is to actually build the engine, when it comes to cost as well, 4-cylinder forged with internals is a lot cheaper than 5. You know, that's just basic math. Another thing that really appealed to me in the MQB platform, on the S3 platform, is I absolutely adore Rallycross. Rallycross are 4-cylinder cars that run around 600 brake horsepower, which is why my goal for this car is roughly 600 brake horsepower. I kind of like to have like 616 on the dyno, and then put a 50 shot of nitro just to do the 666 like the Reg, you know. Silly, but you know, kind of street cred. But you know, at least it's, you know, it just inspires to a mark, if you know what I mean. If I get close to anywhere around 600, I'll be quite happy. You know, ideally would be to convert it into a full RX car, but you know, when you look at the price of sequential gearbox and stuff like that, you know, future will need to be, you know, going very well for me to be able to afford those kind of things. And, you know, it's probably a bit cheaper to actually just buy a Rallycross car, you know, that is basically track ready and actually go on the track than, you know, do a road legal full Rallycross car, if you know what I mean. And yeah, you know, that's mostly the reason why I picked an S3 over an RS3. Obviously, look-wise, you've seen I've changed the bumper, so I clearly prefer the look of an RS3 over the look of an S3. But all things considered, you know, you don't need to put that much in to actually get the look of the RS3 at the front. A lot of people just go for the mesh. It's not like the S3 doesn't look aggressive or anything like that, you know. RS3 is just slightly more aggressive. Also, when it comes to the rear, I actually prefer the quad pipe to the oval from the RS3. You know, I mean, my plan is to actually get rid of the quad pipe anyway, so you know, it will not have a matter either way. From a money point of view, if all you can do to get like the same level of mileage and quality and stuff like that, you know, you don't have the extra to go RS3, well, if you go S3 and you're more about having the 400 brake horsepower rather than actually running a 5-cylinder and having the legendary noise and all that jazz, then go for an S3, and then, like, you know, you spend $2,000, $2,500 on top, and your S3 is going to do 400 brake horsepower, and you know, you essentially have a 4-cylinder RS3 then. So you know, it's still cheaper to go down that route of modifying your car than actually buying an RS3 and then having the maintenance cost of an RS3, because obviously you still have S3 suspension, you still have S3 brakes and stuff like that, so the maintenance costs are still S3 maintenance costs rather than RS3s. Put in the comment below what you think, you know, do you think there is actually much into it? Do you think it's worth saving the money and go for an RS3 and get all of the trouble? You know, I think it really, you know, you need to be balancing your finance properly. Obviously, you know, it's always important to make sure that if you get a car you want to enjoy for years to come, that you know, you can put either some money aside, or you know, you can afford that if God forbid something bad happened to it or you've got a big bill to pay, you can actually afford to pay it. Anyway, if you want to see more of those blah blah, or you know, if you want to see some action videos or how-tos, go check out the upload section. If you're new here, we release 3 videos per week. It's generally 2 videos on a Monday, one on Monday with Lee and I. Generally on the Wednesday it's a solo, so it's either this face or only Lee's face. Then on Friday it's generally the 2 of us. Sometimes it varies, but anyway, go have a browse, and you know, if you like what you see, subscribe, like, and tell your friend about it. Anyway guys, see you in the next one.